I would probably just say stick to your strengths. Don't try to be what you're not. Figure out what your niche is and stay true to that. For me, mine is obviously local, small business. So I mostly resonate with people that love their homes, people that are probably local or want to support local. I don't have what a large agency has, and I'm not going to pretend that I do because what I can offer is different to theirs, but both have their good and bad sides. So I think for me, it's just find out what you're good at and stick with it. Don't try to be anything other than what you can be. And I just think there's no point in, faking or, I mean, obviously fake it till you make it sometimes. You've got to be brave, but don't promise things that you're not.
Hey there, and welcome to the Property Management Podcast. Thank you so much for having me in your ears. Now, this episode is going to be something that is personal and relatable to many of us in property management. We're talking about the topic of imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome if you're not familiar with it? Well, it basically means that you feel like you're a fake and a fraud, and you have this inner mean voice that holds you back from achieving the things that you really want to achieve. So, have you ever looked at somebody from the outside and thought, wow, they've got it all together? And then you've been shocked to find out that behind the scenes, they're dealing with the same self-doubt and negative talk and negative feelings and lack of confidence and lack of self-esteem and imposter syndrome that you've felt too. And that's exactly what this episode is all about. We're going to talk about the real cost of imposter syndrome in your business. Because here's the truth. That little voice that says you're not ready, you're not good enough, you're just lucky, it's costing you money, momentum, and massive opportunities, not just in business, but in life. And no one knows that better than today's guest, Kirsty Mattiazzo. She's the owner and director of The Leasing Lane, a boutique property management agency servicing Darwin and Palmerston. Kirsty has an incredible story. She's a mum of 5. Yes, 5. You heard me right. And went from working for other agencies as a single mum to starting her own business, growing to over 250 managements, and building something she never thought possible. She also got to take her family on a trip to Disneyland, the trip of a lifetime. But here's the twist. Behind the scenes, she was battling serious imposter syndrome, and it held her back for years. So in this episode, Kirsty is going to open up about how imposter syndrome showed up in her business journey, the opportunities she missed by playing small for so long, and what changed once she finally recognized imposter syndrome and started backing herself. It's very raw, it's relatable, and it's an empowering reminder that confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you can build. So whether you're stuck in self-doubt, undercharging, over-delivering, or secretly waiting to be ready, this episode is for you. Let's dive on in. Kirsty, thank you so much for joining me on the Property Management Podcast. I am super excited to have you on here. We've connected a while back, but we haven't really caught up for a while. So I'm excited to unpack where you've come from, where you're at right now. Before we dive in, can you share with our audience a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the industry?
So it was an accident, actually. So a friend of mine, just their mum worked in a real estate and they said, oh, we've got a job if you want it, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, not overly interested, but, a job's a job. And at this point, I was a 19-year-old single mum. So my prospects weren't high at that point. So I took the job and then eventually ended up moving to Darwin. I applied for a property management job here. And they kind of said, oh, well, we've got someone somewhere for you. Can you be here in 2 weeks? And I was like, oh, it's not really, wasn't on my agenda. I was thinking 6 to 12 months. So yeah, I took the leap and moved to Darwin, and that's kind of how it all started for me.
And how long ago was that? Did you say, sorry?
2012. So a little while ago.
Oh, amazing. And
Yeah.
and you've gone from a single mum to now having 5 kids under 7, well, from 17 down to
Yeah.
3.
Yes.
Running a really successful business, I'm going to ask on behalf of them, how do you do it? How do you juggle it? What stuff do you put in place to be able to run your business and the kids? What
Yeah.
boundaries?
We kind of run more as like a team effort because my husband also has work flexibility. He can work from home. He's an electrician, but he does his own thing as well. So he can pick and choose where he is. So the same as me, obviously, property management, I can schedule my day. We both schedule it so that at all times, one of us is available, which really helps. And then obviously, us having Maddie, she's 17, nearly 18, she kind of functions as a third parent in the room. If, for example, we are both booked, it's like, okay, can you watch the kids for half an hour? So we kind of have that option as well. Mostly, though, we work on a system, we all need to clean, we all need to help, we all need to cook. So we all chip in. So the kids have chores, we have chores, we just work together.
That is so good to hear.
It's hectic. It's definitely hectic, but my house is very clean every day, so it works.
Oh, that is so good. Yeah, because more often than not, you hear of the mums having to kind of juggle everything and hold all the
Yeah.
balls in the air. And I know that was certainly my situation, not all the time, but a lot of the
Yeah.
load was left up to me. So that's great that you've got that real teamwork ethic. And I guess that translates into your business as well, because that
Yeah.
has to be a team effort as well, doesn't it?
It
And you've
does.
grown your
Yeah.
team. So when we caught up last, you had around 40 managements.
Yeah.
Now you're sitting at 250. Congratulations. Well done, you.
Okay.
Talk to me about that journey and some of the highs and lows along that journey to get you to where you are today.
Yeah, it was something I didn't want to do in the first place, to be honest. But at this point, I had 5 children, and I thought I can't work for someone else full time and still be the mum that I want to be. So that's what prompted me to start it. And I started with zero, apart from my own personal investment property. And then we just a lot of local people were kind enough to give us a go, which then expanded. So it was hard to start because obviously unknown, and we don't know where the money is going to come from. But it didn't take long for it to sort of naturally pick up, especially because our local market is so close and smaller. So I think that definitely helped, and a lot of word of mouth, which was awesome. And at that stage, I took a trip to Disney with my kids for 3 weeks while still having the 40. So that was really flexible and I really enjoyed it. And that's kind of actually where I wanted to stay. So I didn't want to expand. I just wanted to make enough money to be a great mum, go on holidays, and be there for school pickup, which I've done, which has been great. And then it spiraled like completely out of control without me planning for it to. So that was kind of a bit harder being on my own. I didn't have anyone for when I was sick. It expanded quite quickly as well. So I was a little bit scrambling because a lot of things would be in my brain and not in a procedure or not in a written form. Like, I think, for example, I was sick, really sick for about 4 days, and I had absolutely nobody to help me. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But thankfully, I have some really great property management connections in Darwin. So I have a really nice a girlfriend who runs a similar business. So she is so helpful when I was by myself. And then obviously my husband as well. So he now has a real estate license just for those odd occasions where I'm like, I can't do it today. Can you help me? So he's been really great, just getting on board, doing what I say, listening, helping. So yeah, it got to December last year and I was like, okay, we're over 100. What am I going to do? I'm completely alone. And then we hired our first property manager. So that definitely helped. And then we quite quickly got to like 180 and I was like, oh my God, I need another property manager. So now we've hired our next property manager just when we got to the 250. So we sort of struggled a little bit, the two of us, with the 180, which sounds like a low number, yeah. But on top of that, I'm still trying to do the business accounts, helping my husband with his business, my trust accounting, my children, my social media. So all of those things combined, I just thought, okay, we need another person. So yeah, we've expanded again. We've got 3 property managers and 2 admin on the go at the moment.
That is absolutely amazing. And you just triggered me. We did catch up right before you were going off to your trip to America. So
We did, yeah.
yeah. So that is amazing. And that is the beauty of, starting your own business, having
Yeah.
that flexibility and freedom. I started my business for exactly the same thing. I wanted to be able to drop my kids off, pick my kids up, be there for the sports days or the dancing
Yeah.
concerts or whatever. And I was able to achieve that too.
Yeah.
But let's go back a little bit, because you and I both suffer from the same syndrome,
Mhm.
which is imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
which I don't know about you, but it has certainly held me back from a
Yeah.
lot of things in life. One of the biggest things that it held me back for was public speaking. And even though I was a sports journalist, I stayed well and truly behind the camera, even though I was meant
Yeah.
to be in front of the camera. I didn't like to put myself out there publicly. And then, of course, in business, I was always never the face of my business. I was always
Mhm.
behind the scenes doing all the work, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to us about your journey with imposter syndrome and how you recognized it in yourself, first of all.
Yeah, I think you always, when you're starting something, there's that worry that what if I'm not good enough? And that was one of the biggest reasons that I didn't start anything until my fifth child, and I realized I had no choice. Actually think it's good to feel that way a little bit because we're all learning still, so I think it's okay. But I recognized it very, very quickly, mostly from industry gossip was probably one of the things that got to me the most with other property managers or other agencies that would not necessarily be nasty, but definitely have something to say about it. So for me, I found that really, really tough. And I just thought to myself, at the end of the day, no one else here is paying for my lifestyle. No one else is raising my children. And I don't care. Like, I care deeply, I care. But on the grand scheme of things, will this be important in the next 5 years? No, I will get through it. So I personally, I feel it. I feel it a lot. I feel it frequently. And I just keep thinking to myself, it doesn't matter. It's just noise. And then I'll just sign myself up when I'm feeling brave to absolutely everything I can. And then I regret it. And then I feel sick and I feel like I'm not good enough for it. And then I do it and it's totally fine. So, yeah, in those brave moments, I just overcommit myself so that I have no choice.
Absolutely. And I
Mhm.
guess, it would have showed up for you coming on this podcast as well.
Yes,
You
yes,
would
I
have
was
had,
definitely nervous.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know I was exactly the same. When I first started That Property Mum, I put myself out there to go on a lot of different podcasts, and I think Ash Goodchild's was one of them, and Dennis and Darren's podcast. They had a few back then, and I had scripts in front of me. I spoke so fast. My head was, and for anyone listening, imposter syndrome shows up for you. It's a lot of head noise. It's telling you you're not good enough. It tells you, who are you to just speak out about that? It makes you feel like you're a bit of a fake and a fraud. You don't really know what you're talking about. And it can really hold you back from doing things and achieving things. So, just with the business, did it take you a lot longer to start it and grow it because of that noise?
Yeah, definitely. I kept thinking, why would someone trust me? Obviously, yes, I've been a property manager in Darwin for over 10 years, but I worked for some really great companies. I was never sort of anyone special. I did some management roles, I did property management. I knew my job, but I didn't have a wide reach with just people or connections. So for me, I just thought, why would someone pick me if they had a choice? And so for me, that was I had to kind of get over that. And I won't be for everybody, I have learnt, but everybody won't be for me either. So I think I've learnt just to stick with my people and make connections with similar people. And that's definitely helped me overcome it a little bit because, yeah, you're worth it. It's just everyone's worth is different.
Absolutely. And I think other ways that imposter syndrome shows up, and it showed up especially for me, was around leadership. When I
Mhm.
was building teams and attracting teams as well, I had that voice saying, who would want to come and work for you? Your
Yeah.
business is a mess. It's in chaos. And yes, it was at times. It wasn't just my head. It was a reality as well.
Yeah.
But it probably stopped me from showing up as a leader as well, and having as property managers, we're also, if we've got imposter syndrome, we tend to be people pleasers as well.
Yeah.
So I probably didn't have great boundaries, and I was probably a bit of a doormat, if I'm completely honest, in my
Mhm.
leadership roles early on. And you've just started growing your team. How
Yeah.
has imposter syndrome showed up for you in terms of leadership?
If you're ready to be a super organised, focused and productive property manager, buckle up because Colmio is about to revolutionise the way that you work. Colmio is the driving force behind property management excellence in residential real estate. Now picture this, a comprehensive end-to-end system designed to be the beating heart of your property management tasks, manage your properties, owners and tenants, and handle payments, inspections, and even marketing listings without leaving the platform. Colmio is designed to be an all-in-one solution to all your property management needs. And here's the game changer. Colmio isn't just software. It's been awarded the most innovative prop tech scale up in 2023. Yes, you heard it right. Colmio has been recognised for their groundbreaking approach to property management software. How good is that? So property managers, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, dive into the future of property management with Colmio. You can book in a demo with the team today and go in their weekly draw for a Prezi gift card worth $100. All you need to do is to head to the link colmio.com/thatpropertymum, and Colmio is KOLMEO.
Not so much in my existing role, but previously I worked at an agency that had about, I think maybe 16 to 18 staff under me as the department manager. There, it more so stood out for me because I thought some of these women are older than me. Some of them probably are better than me. They just haven't tried. There, I felt it. And I thought I'm not good enough to lead because they have the same skill as me, or they're older, which is a lot harder as a younger person to overcome. So I felt it in that role, not so much in this role now. I'm building the team that I'm building is women and mothers and like-minded people. So all of the ladies on my team all have children. And here I'm focusing on connecting and making it a bit more. Not so much as I'm in charge and you have to listen to me. It's more of a collaboration and, these are our three options. What does everyone think? So that's helped me, I think. Yeah, expanding my knowledge in my brain, but also reworking it and not thinking to myself, I'm solely in charge here. Although I am at times, I also like to collaborate. So I think that makes me feel more confident when I know other people, how they're feeling, and I can lead that way instead.
That's amazing. That
Yeah.
is so great that you've identified that in yourself. I mean, I'm sitting here listening to so much clarity in your decision making and how you're running your business, and I certainly took a lot longer to get there, and I don't know if I've ever had as much clarity as you've got, because one of the things that imposter syndrome does is it puts you into decision paralysis. You cannot make a decision. You second guess yourself constantly. And in property management, as we know, you can't do that. You've got to make a decision on, fixing that maintenance, on putting that tenant in the property. And the more decisions that you haven't dealt with, as they pile up, you then get into overwhelm. And
Oh, absolutely.
is that
I get
something
that
you've experienced?
Oh my gosh, a lot. So, for example, if we go out for lunch and there's two options, I cannot make the decision. I'm like, oh, somebody else just do it. But I think it's because we make so many decisions, it feels overwhelming that there's another one. I'd rather have limited options than 10 because then I get to, okay, this is overwhelming. I try and think of every scenario and which one would be best. So I try to be more decisive and firm. But in my head, I'm like, oh my God, this scenario, that scenario, which am I going to regret this? I definitely get overwhelmed with that.
Yeah, and I think it also comes down to parenting as well. You've got so many decisions to make, especially when your kids are younger.
Yeah.
And what are we going to cook for dinner at the end of the day? I'm like,
Oh gosh, the worst decision of all.
I know. And it's so funny because my kids are all adults. My youngest is about to finish school now, and I've still got 3 of them living at home with me.
Yeah.
And one of them made a comment the other day that this is the first time that we've eaten out so much. And I'm like, yeah, that's because I'm done with, working all day and then having to think about what to cook. So yeah, I probably only cook 3 nights a week now, and the rest of the
Oh
time
gosh.
we eat
My
out.
husband actually cooks because I truly don't have the time and he's much better than me. So yeah, I've got that covered. I just have to make the decision of what.
what to buy in the grocery order.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, what would be your advice then to property managers sitting here listening to this, or business owners listening to this right now, to overcome their imposter syndrome? What would you say to them?
I would probably just say stick to your strengths. Don't try to be what you're not. Figure out what your niche is and stay true to that. For me, mine is obviously local, small business. So I mostly resonate with people that love their homes, people that are probably local or want to support local. I don't have what a large agency has, and I'm not going to pretend that I do because what I can offer is different to theirs, but both have their good and bad sides. So I think for me, it's just find out what you're good at and stick with it. Don't try to be anything other than what you can be. And I just think there's no point in, faking or, I mean, obviously fake it till you make it sometimes. You've got to be brave, but don't promise things that you're not. Because then, the expectation is then set and then they know what you're going to give, you know what you're going to give. There's no false promises, there's no letdown because we're all on the same page.
Yeah. And then you don't feel like you're letting people down. You're not losing
Yeah,
self-esteem because you're not.
exactly.
And then your imposter syndrome really kicks in if you promise something and don't deliver on it.
Yeah.
See, I told
Yeah,
you. I told you couldn't do that.
exactly.
So yeah, that is absolutely amazing advice for anyone listening. And I'm going to ask the most obvious question that I haven't asked you yet. And that is, talk to me about how you have grown your rent roll over the last couple of years. Because I think
Yeah.
a lot of people listening, to get to, and I think you made the comment earlier at 180, it didn't sound like a lot. Like for a lot of business owners, that's a lot of properties. They would love to get to that 180, and then to get
Yeah.
to that 250 would be, it is on a lot of people's goals and bucket lists, because that's where you get that financial freedom. That's where you get to build
Mhm.
teams. That's really
Yeah.
where you're building a bigger business now.
Definitely. I think initially a lot of it was word of mouth because I had such a smaller portfolio. I could spend a lot of time nurturing those people, loving on my tenants, calling my landlords. So I got a lot of referrals, a lot of people sick of bigger agencies or not getting that attention. So I did get a lot initially from that. And then I probably think I got to about 90 or 100 naturally within that sort of year and a half range. Then what happened was we had a buyer's agent frenzy or a market shift for us. And there was a bit more media attention on Darwin. A lot of things, I guess, in just saying that Darwin would be the next place or a good place to invest. So from that, I was very lucky to make some good connections with like-minded people. I went on a few podcasts, I went on a few Zooms, I guess, and just trying to connect with people, some on LinkedIn, but not as much. That wasn't a focus for me. It was more the podcasts. So I went on a few of those, and that prompted investors to reach out to me. Quite a lot have come from those viewings or I guess interviews that I did on Darwin. So a lot came from that. A lot was on buyers agents. And then we did have some locals as well they were sort of thinking, okay, maybe we should buy as well because everyone else is saying it's great to buy. So we did get 3 different avenues of where this could come from, which was incredible for us. But not only that is social media. So I must admit, I don't do as much as I wanted to do or should do. But in the earlier days, I had a bit more time. So I was posting more frequently. I would get a lot of people tagging me on community groups and then just responding to those instead of, you'd see a bunch of agents tagged and none would respond. So I just thought, okay, I'm just going to give them that extra step. Hey, thank you. If you do want to talk to me, call me. I would never call them personally. I don't have that personality. I'm not going to go after you. You can, if you want me, I'm here, but I'm not going to demand or be that way. So it was just more a nurturing approach. If I just reach out to that person and say, hey, if you need advice, call me. If not, best of luck. So for me, there was kind of four avenues: the socials, the buyers agents, the locals, and then sort of just the media giving us a good rap.
That's amazing. But a good rap,
Yeah.
and then you capitalized on it, which is
Yeah, I
fantastic.
did what I could. Absolutely. It was really, really great. I've met some awesome people and it's done what I don't think I could have done myself in this amount of time. Maybe I could have grown a little more, but I think this definitely gave the boost.
Yeah. And you know what, though, that what started all of that was you overcame your imposter syndrome and you put yourself out there. That
Yeah,
started the ball rolling.
I actually, an interstate investor had reached out to me, a solo guy. He wasn't with any company, and I helped him with his property. And then he recommended me to someone else to be on their podcast. And so then I did that. And then I got a lot of messages from that. And I just And that kind of introduced me to that realm. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know this was a thing because Darwin, it's so small. We don't have all the fancy things. So that introduced me to that. And I thought, wow, this is crazy. So I just kept going whenever the opportunity came up.
I love that so much. And, you don't have all the fancy things, but you've
Mhm.
got a business that's really heartfelt and you focused on nurturing and not being salesy and not being
Mhm.
transactional. And it's
Yeah.
really paid off for you, which I think a lot of people can take a lot away from that.
Mhm.
Step one, overcoming your imposter syndrome. Step two, you know, offering and delivering a great service
Yeah.
that's authentic to you as well, not what
Yeah.
all the big you could it's be easy to copy all the big agencies and the other agencies there, but I don't think that people don't resonate with that. People resonate with, you being authentically you. You're a working mum, you're building a business around,
Mhm.
the life that you want to have, being a good mum, being a great business owner, and it does work. And
Yeah, I'm
kudos.
very honest. I don't hide it. So obviously, I'm 34 and I have 5 children. So people can be untrusting. That sounds crazy. How can you do that? How can you work as well or work and well for my property with that going on? But I'm super transparent with them. And I don't mind if they ask me questions because I can understand that doesn't sound doable sometimes because sometimes, trust me, it's not. But I work a lot and my clients see that too because I'll work in the morning while they're getting ready for school. I work all day. And then once they're in bed again, I work for another 2 to 3 hours. And they'll get emails from me at all times of the night. My one rule though is don't call me after 5 because I want to be present for my family. So they know that, but they're welcome to email or text. But I'm just honest with that. So I think that helps them understand me as well to see where the trust comes from.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and I think we're getting better at that, better at setting those boundaries, setting
Mhm.
those guidelines. And you don't mind, a lot of people might think, that I don't answer emails at nighttime, but when it's your own business, it's different because you do have that flexibility during the day if you've got to go and do something,
Yes.
or after school you've got to take kids to sport, and you miss out on that little bit of extra work time. So once you put them
Yeah.
in bed, I know it's the same. I don't mind it, and it makes me feel I don't like people waiting for a response from me. So
Yeah.
it just made me feel more peaceful going to bed and setting me up again for a day. So I think that's
Yeah.
really valid advice there for anyone.
Yeah. It just sets the tone for the next day as well. Like I'll lay in bed and watch whatever show I'm currently watching. My husband, he'll be watering the lawn or whatever he does, he does at night. And I'll just be recapping and thinking, okay, is that urgent? Do I need to put that on tomorrow's first thing? Can I respond now if it's going to take me less than 2 minutes? Just do it now. I'm watching a show that takes an hour. I've got time. I can smash out a few of these unimportant or quick ones and then make a plan for myself. I always make a list of what I need to do for the next day, including my children. So, like today, I've got school pickup, a dentist, and a dance, and then a home open at 5. So, I've got a list for myself of what I need to do this afternoon or today. And I plan that the day before so that I'm never caught out.
Amazing. So,
Yeah.
my last question, or second last question, but is around what is some personal development tool? And I think that creating a list before you go to bed, that's great, great
Mhm.
start. What do you do for personal development to help you? And you did mention you did a few things to get you started. So, what's your best personal development recommendation?
I'm definitely still working on it because I don't prioritize myself at the minute. So that's something I want to do more of, stretched a bit thin. But I would say being prepared is my biggest thing. Just be prepared. I watch a lot of other people's content, not necessarily to copy it, but to give me courage and to say, well, they're doing it, so why can't I? Or that's a great idea, but for me, I could do it this way. So for me, it's just learning from other people. So I try to go to a few conferences a year to network and meet other women going through the same thing, but also for the programs and the efficiencies. So for me, it's just do your research, find out what's going to work for you, and just keep learning because there's so like I know that I don't know everything. So just keep researching. Like I've changed programs that I'm on. I've changed by the way I do my inspections. It's just evolving because it's like, okay, I saw this program or someone recommended this, and you do a trial and yes, it will work or no, it won't work. So for me, it's just continually checking in. Where am I at? What could I be doing better? What are they doing? How could they improve? Which might help me improve. Yeah, I think just connecting and learning and just keep going. Because if you stop, you lose momentum and then you just feel like you've achieved nothing.
Absolutely. No, that's super valuable personal development advice there. And how can anyone listening connect further with you?
So definitely, well, I'm on socials, so Instagram or Facebook. Then of course, just my mobile or my email address is pretty simple. Yeah, easy, all the easy options. We're not on TikTok or anything like that, not yet.
That's next.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows?
That's so good. Thank you so much for joining me. I have loved catching up with you again, and I think you are absolutely amazing, such a superstar, human and businesswoman.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love catching up.
Can I ask you a quick favour before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.